I want to turn to Virginia. You live there. Glenn Youngkin, through his PAC, Spirit of Virginia, is launching this week a tremendous initiative to get in the early ballot game, get in the vote by mail game. He's putting millions and millions of dollars of his PAC money in this thing. I'm all over it, and I think it's going to make a huge difference as the Republicans try to maintain the House and gain control of the Senate in November, which is a little bit of an uphill battle. What are your thoughts on that, Professor Kline?
Well, it's about time. The Republican Party needs to greatly enhance its GOTV effort using all the legal methods possible to get their voters to the polls. And the left has had an edge on this, much of it due to the consistent efforts of organized labor. They have really developed through their research, through extensive funding, through funding experts and so forth, the ability to micro-target and identify and motivate voters. And they have used that to the benefit of the left. In fact, as you know, John, in 2020, they infused that knowledge into government offices, which is one of the concerns that we have with the Amistad Project, is that the urban core government offices in Democratic strongholds became partisan turnout centers. And that bodes ill for faith in elections. It's also in many ways arguably contrary to law and must be stopped. That's on the policy side. We haven't done enough there. But certainly, political parties have to recognize that identifying and turning out voters in every means possible, including getting them ballots early and getting those ballots in, must be part of their effort.
Look, it's got to be the centerpiece of the effort, and that's what Youngkin is trying to do. That was part of how he was able to win, Phill, in 2021. And look, all the eyes are going to be on Virginia because it's the only game in town, right? And the stakes for Governor Youngkin in Virginia, and I know you're at Liberty University, you're a resident, you're in Lynchburg, are very high because if he doesn't capture the Senate, he'll have no record to run on if he's going to go forward in politics because he can't get anything done because if the Democrats keep a 21-19 majority or grow it, basically Louise Lucas, one of the most liberal left-wing people in the country, is going to be running the state Senate for the Democrats in Virginia. So they block everything that Youngkin does. Two of the moderates that were there, Chap Peterson in Fairfax and Joe Morrissey in Petersburg, got beat in primaries by left-wing crackpot communists. I mean, these people are communists. So if they don't win the Senate, he's not going to get anything done, right? Regardless of whether they keep the House. So all eyes are going to be on it. And I think what Youngkin and his PAC are trying to do, this is outside of the RNC, who doesn't do crap. Outside of them, and with the Republican Party of Virginia, what they're trying to do is get an apparatus in place that if it's successful, can then be utilized by other states in 2024. Your reaction to that?
John, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I may sound like a broken record here. That model works and is essential for a party to engage in, but it doesn't address the privatization of elections because that didn't happen in Virginia in 2021. It's not going to happen in 2023. The left is focused on key swing states for 2024. So the Virginia model or the political party model only goes so far, and you have to get the policy. Let me give you an example. And now over half of American ballots will be by absentee, which raises other concerns. And there are legitimate and reasonable protections to make sure that the ballot cast absentee or on paper and mailed in is the actual ballot of a legitimate voter. But they are sidestepping these reasonable and common sense protections now by outsourcing the management of those ballots to organizations that are private. It happened in Arizona in the gubernatorial election with Kerry Lake. And then they are not subject to open records laws. They are not subject to laws that require transparency and the presence of both parties in the management of the ballots. And you cannot prevent or have the prophylactic effort to prevent fraud, nor prove it afterwards. So that issue has not been answered. Virginia is not going to answer that. That's not playing out in 2022 right now, because you don't have that cooperation with government resources, and you don't have this vertical alignment of democratic authority. But you do have it in 2024, and not enough has been done. So yes, the party has to get engaged. But more significantly, policymakers have to grow up and address the problem, and they're not doing it right now.